Very good morning, Dr. Gupta, Mr. Gurumurthy, distinguished speakers here, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to all of you. SREI Foundation has been working for over a decade now on the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. So we work in all the areas, and our special focus is we have been working for the last decade for asset survivors. And I think that 10 years ago, that was not even heard of, acid attacks, and I think we've come a long way in that. And also, we've been holding the largest spiritual conference in India for the last 10 years. And I think that we need to get the human mind after all this, what we were talking about in the current scenario today. I think it is very important that all great thoughts come together and sort out the human mind first. So in that context, so I'll just take you through what my learnings have been on spirituality, humanity, and business, which for the last over three decades. So it is indeed a great honor to be here today with such distinguished speakers here, and this management program organized on Indian Ethos in Management by Vivekananda Foundation. I've seen the topics, and I think it is most relevant today. And in fact, what Dr. Gurumurthy was mentioning, that, when we put a tika, so why people look down at us. And I think these are very relevant today because, Shubh Labh, these are things which we all want to know about today. And I think everybody should know about it. And especially as Indians, we should be proud of these things instead of being looked down upon. And well, managerial interest in workplace spirituality has been on the rise, and we can all see that in the current scenario. And in particular, it has been a burning topic from a slow-paced agronomic world of work that united us at home, nature and humanity. We are quickly running into the world of rapid industrialization and mechanized human work, and totally disconnected from home, nature, and everything else, because the way we are going ahead with that. We now feel the urgent need of rediscovering the dignity and humanity of work through a philosophy and methodology, which Mr. Gurumurthy was also mentioning. There has to be some kind of a system we must understand. Philosophy and methodology of executive and workplace spirituality. In this endeavor, several approaches have already been made and tried. Spirituality, several definitions of spirituality proposed, and several best practices of workplace spirituality have been reported. You are all trying to change the world. We are talking about making our organization, business. We are talking about world peace, about environmental disasters. We truly cannot change the world outside unless we change the world inside. It might seem a little clique, but there is no choice. So when I speak about spirituality, I speak about change. Men must change before nations do. Nothing is going to happen by legislation until people change. How do we bring about this change? Go to the gym. Everyone wants to be fit and change the way they look. Is there any gym across the city which can truly help us to bring about that change? I would like to bring 3 simple principles that will help you bring that change, which I feel are very relevant in today's world. Practice. We talk too much about spirituality and practice very less. If we don't practice spirituality at home, how can you change the workplace? And this we see right from the beginning. If you see for our parents and all, right from the beginning, though of course we are moving in very fast times. But if you go back to your history and check out your parents, grandparents, they're very spiritually inclined. They had the time. We need to create a strong connect with your own self and God. A bulb is only tungsten filament and glass, but when it is connected in a source of power, it disperses darkness and brings light. By itself, this bulb is nothing. So the connect is so important. Let's bring spirituality into our life by connecting ourselves on a regular basis. In Sanskrit, this is called sadhana. The second principle is priority. We have to decide what priorities we want to have in our life. All valuables important to us Are values important to us or valuables important to us? Value added, what is the position all about? Prioritizing valuables over values? At the end of the day, valuables will give you no fulfillment. If you want to know how rich you are, then count how many things you have that money cannot buy. Some people are so poor that they have only money, only valuables. What is important to you? Charisma or character? Personality or being a person? Today, passion to have is so much that compassion is lost. First, decide what is important to you. The last principle, spirituality. It is not about remaining satisfied. The world does not suffer because of the violence of bad people. It is because of the silence of good people. It is very easy to talk about lofty philosophy. Everybody can talk about that. But it is harder to be there and live our lives accordingly. Some people live by the principle, life is like an ice cream actually. Enjoy it before it melts. I say, life is like a candle. Bring light to others before it melts. Both melt, the candle and the ice cream. So spirituality in business means the journey between being an ice cream and being a candle. Like the oxygen mask in a plane, if your mask is not tightened on your face, you cannot help the other person next to you. So the last principle is be selfishly selfless. Earn a lot, have all those resources so that you can serve. Have love, have position, have money, serve, share. That is what I will call spirituality in business. Earn with integrity and spend with compassion. That should be the motto of our business. In our endeavor to promote spirituality and humanity, we have been organizing the World Conference of Humanity, Power and Spirituality from 2010. This program is the first of its kind in the world with a conglomeration of important issues on humanity, power, inner and outer, and spirituality. So several distinguished luminaries whose hearts echo with humanity from different communities and religions across the world come here and share their view that every religion propagates service to humanity and that the moral and social principles have its own paths leading to one cosmic reality. Various religions are flowers of different colors to be tied with a cord of beautiful love into a beautiful bouquet to be offered at the altar of truth. Diversity with unity is inherent in nature. So this is a spectacular conference where people, heads of states from all different countries come assemble. They know that the relevance of humanity and spirituality is so important today in business, where distinguished luminaries also share their thoughts on various issues and their life's experiences, highlighting unity and diversity. So it remains the task of this conference to bring home the values of enlightenment in practice as life's journey within its own self and through love and service to the society at large. Today we are living in exciting times, a moment of history where we are all at the cusp of responding to the resounding call of Swami Vivekananda, arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. And this is very significant that we use this today in today's context, because we must do all this with profound and often unrecognizable changes taking place in the political, economic, and socio-cultural landscape today around us, and with a steady transformation of global perception, which Mr. Gurumurthy was also mentioning about India's potential as a world power in progress. Under the present enlightened national leadership, it seems incumbent upon the influential business community and all far-sighted organizations to lend weight to efforts in this direction. We conceptualized a movement called Sach Bharat, not Swachh Bharat. Our organization, when we conceptualized this, was a complementary to our Prime Minister's dream project called Swachh Bharat. While the later focuses on cleanliness of our surroundings, outer cleanliness, Sach Bharat was to promote inner cleanliness. The purpose of Sach Bharat was to expand the mind of those involved in business so that we see the misalignment between business practices and beliefs of the people. When the mind is expanded, we get more clarity and understand the world better, take better decisions that ensure sustainable and desirable growth. Such is truth. Truth is purity and honesty. Truth is brightness and happiness. Truth is hope and positivity. So truth is the inner cleanliness that all of us aspire for. And the route to such inner truth is spirituality. All of us aspire for. Pursuit of truth outside the body is called science, while the pursuit of truth inside is called spirituality. Spiritualism is a path to self-consciousness and self-righteousness, unlike religion. Spirituality is more innate, more personal, shaping your character by living with values. I believe that every person's conscience tells him if his actions are good or bad. If he still goes ahead, then it becomes a morality problem. This explains the moral decay around us, the lure of material success. The outcome of Swachh Bharat, it was very interesting to see, not just trying to promote this Swachh Bharat, the noble initiative of building an India that stands glorified through spirituality and righteousness to create a spiritual India to infuse spirituality at work. For the first time in the world, the conference witnessed people from all walks of life. We had this program in Delhi, Mumbai, and we invited all the industrialists there. And everyone pledged for spirituality at work, which they actually did. I'm talking about the top industrialists. Of course, I mean, how they practice is something, but to get them together to at least pledge for something like that itself was quite a big task. And a guidebook we took out on national spiritual responsibility. We must all be responsible for what acts which we are doing. So we launched this book by the Honorable Governor of Maharashtra, along with a Swachh Bharat song composed by Anuradha Podwal in glory of Bharat Mata and to urge her children to work hard with righteousness. So these are the small efforts which we went into, and it has to begin somewhere, and we started doing this. And to recognize the best practices and to motivate organizations, we conferred the Swachh Bharat Samman to many organizations who were selected through a panel of eminent jury members, and Ernst & Young was the process partner for this. A national and international think tank committee was formed of eminent personalities, including heads of state, to continue our work to make it into a Swachh Bharat and Swachh Vishwa. Swami Vivekananda observed that the world needs spirituality to establish fearlessness in the new generation, self-discipline, hard work, and selfless service to the nation. He asserted, manifest divinity within you, and added, mark, if you give up spirituality, the result will be that in 3 generations you will be extinct. Finally, the best thing which we can all do is to invest in goodness. In all our annual meetings, I am the only one who comes out without any business figures. But I tell everyone that I do goodness. I bring all the good wishes and love from everyone for all the good work you are doing for them. And I think that is very important, because that is the only investment which never fails. I still recall the words of late Abdul Kalam ji, who had come to one of our conferences, where he said that only spirituality can eradicate corruption and not legislation. And these words are still true today. So lastly, we must all remember that we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. I would once again like to thank Vivekananda International Foundation for this opportunity and all of you. And I think we can all do this together. So can we do it together? Yes. Yes. Good. Thank you so much.